You're watching the best clips from the Journey Within podcast with me, Shobha Rana. With this podcast, learn to take charge of your life and master your inner world. The application of Buddhism into today's life that we are leading, where does it fit in, and how does it teach us to be better?
Yeah, so like water, it can fit any vessel. So the Buddhist teachings can not only be practiced by people of different faiths, but also by different generations. So like you mentioned, the younger generation these days, very outward focused, looking for gratification and happiness in an external world, and becoming a little bit materialistic, I may say. So understanding about Buddhist philosophy, studying it, contemplating it, and applying it becomes applicable to everyone. So for example, I'll give an example. Let's say, I'll just use you as an example. Let's say you find your happiness in shopping, okay, and parties and so on. And you love doing, going out and everything, which is okay. But then if you get caught up only by the appearance of phenomena, and you don't know how phenomena actually is, you understand, then it starts to cause you suffering. But if you understand the Buddhist philosophy, you realize that you should not get caught up only with the appearance, but you should understand how phenomena actually works, how phenomena actually is. It's like watching a movie. When a child watches a movie, he says, "Papa, the doggy died." But the papa knows that the doggy hasn't died. Like, don't worry, it's a movie. The doggy hasn't died. It's a movie. But the child only knows the appearance, not the behind the scene. So from a Buddhist perspective, we teach the behind the scenes also. So we don't get caught up only with the shopping bags and the parties. You understand? We understand the nature of those phenomena, that they're all impermanent, that we should not make them the source of our happiness, because we are only limiting ourselves. Just as a party is impermanent, it starts, it stays, and then it ends. It has three modes: birth, remaining, and end. You are also making your happiness, very compounded, very impermanent, very short.
Then it's going to be short-lived into those three
modes: birth, remaining, and end. That's it. And then you keep recreating it. You have to keep shopping it, right?
Right.
Like, how many sales have you personally,
True,
followed?
of course, 100%.
And you feel like if you manage to attend this sale and manage to buy this bag, this exclusive bag, if somebody gives it to you or you manage to buy it, you save for it, you think like, okay, I think I'll be done. But you know very well.
But the next day, the next sale comes up, and then you're like, again, I need that birth, remaining, and again.
So you buy it, you keep it, and then you're like, oh, there's a new edition. This is a special limited edition tag. Yeah. True. Okay, so this is good, but maybe if I get the limited edition, only 1,000 were made. If I'm one of the lucky ones, then you'll be like, after that again, a new version comes.
So to understanding the impermanence of these material things is very important. Enjoying everything while still being in the awareness of the impermanence of those things and not attaching your happiness or worth to it.
You use the word attachment. And I think the kind of Buddhism that we practice, we don't necessarily reject things. We see things for how they are. And we believe that if you have a lot of money, if you have a good phone, good car, if you have lots of clothes, it's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. The problem is the attachment to those things. If a beggar is not attached to anything, he has more wealth than a billionaire who's attached to his billion. So at the end, what brings us unhappiness is attachment.
Attachment, I think, is associated with a lot of suffering that comes along.
Yes.
So it's one of the lessons that I have learned the hard way in my life is to let go, because the opposite of attachment is letting go. And letting go is something which does not come naturally to us.
Yeah.
This is something we have to teach ourselves. Attachment is something which comes naturally because you're born out of a womb. You know attachment. As a child who doesn't know anything else in the world, you still know attachment. You still know who's touch, who makes you feel a certain way, who makes you feel comfortable, protected, and all of that, who's nurturing you. You're attached to the things that you possess. You go to school and you have friends, you're attached to your friends, you're attached to the games that you play. So attachment is something which is an integral part of our upbringing and conditioning and the way the world operates.
Yes.
But to break out of this attachment is something that we have to go through a personal training program. I think Buddhism is one such great philosophy, and some really, really amazing learnings there about detaching yourselves, letting go, kindness, compassion, loving. I want to talk about mindfulness with you. How is mindfulness different than the other forms of meditation?
To be absolutely honest with you, brutally honest with you, mindfulness is a part of the set of meditations that we practice. It is part of our curriculum, but it's not the curriculum. And maybe because in the modern times, certain meditation techniques have been very effective for certain influential people, so it is really taken off. If you go to any monastery and you ask any monk who has meditated for years and years, please, mindfulness is so great, please teach me. He would be like, really? But that's, we've been doing it since
That's a way of life. For
yeah,
us.
so it's for us, it's honestly, for people who have like me, who I've spent years in meditation. I spent more than 5 years, I think, in solitary retreat in a small room. Never once did my teacher say like, okay, this is mindfulness. Yeah, that from tomorrow onwards, for the next 6 months, you stop chanting, you stop visualizing, you stop doing this breathing practice. Now you do what we call mindfulness. Mindfulness is always there. So let me give you an example. When we chant, our mind is focused. Our mind is focused, our mind is aware, our mind is mindful of the chant. We focus on the chant. We see the chant. We are with the chant. Because the chant that is happening now. It's not happening in the past. It hasn't yet happened. It's in the present moment. So one very important thing that I can share with you in a nutshell is that being mindful keeps you in the here and the now. It keeps you in the present moment, because the past doesn't exist. The future, it doesn't exist. The present fleeting moment is the only one, the momentary moment that is still passing as you move your legs, as you shift, as you breathe. It's passing. So it's to be in that moment that is the only real moment that exists.
But when you believe in the concept of karma and cause and effect, then you kind of think about and plan about what you should be doing and how you should be conducting yourself, because you don't want to earn bad karma. So how does one still stay mindful and yet believe in all these other concepts?
Well, I think you answered your question a little bit there, because you're mindful that if you harm someone, which is what we call bad karma, you will suffer. And if you benefit someone or something, you will be happy. We are mindful of that fact. So we do everything mindfully. The way we talk to people, whether we agree or disagree, we always try to smile, always try to be polite, and try to be helpful to everybody without judging them, without seeing the size of their wallets or how beautiful they are, or whether they will be good for my career or not so good for my career, to see how many followers they have and basing your things. You know what I mean? So I think just to be mindful that committing good deeds brings us happiness, and committing bad deeds brings us suffering. That is what karma is all about.
Thank you for watching the clips. Watch the full video from the link in the description box. If you like our videos and content, make the comment section your friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We will meet you in our next episode. Till then, master your inner world with The Journey Within by Shobha Rana.